Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. Even when they mean well, even when they have the best of intentions, you got to wonder where these African National Congress members of Parliament get their worldview, their education. This is an interesting story that's breaking out of South Africa. South African troops should be unleashed onto the country streets to clamp down on crime. Now, that may be just a sensationalist statement from News 24, but it appears in the article in which they're talking about African National Congress Member of Parliament Dakota Lahote, a chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Defense and Military Veterans, who believes that the country's sovereignty is at stake. Wow, what's going on? Well, crime is the issue. Now, Lahote is serving in Parliament for the first time, having entered Parliament in 2024 after 6 years deployed at the ANC headquarters at Latuli House, and he comes from Northwest Province, which is a province beset by all kinds of administrative problems. Maybe he had something to do with some of this. Lahote is serving in Parliament for the first time, having entered in 2024 after 6 years deployed at the ANC headquarters at Latuli House. He hails from Northwest Province, a province beset by all kinds of malgovernance by the ANC. Now, Lahote believes that President Ramaphosa should sign a special proclamation to allow all law enforcement agencies to hit the streets. Now, does this gentleman have even a remote sense of the irony in his bones? It was the use of the military that exacerbated tensions in the townships in 1985 and nearly led to a complete implosion of South Africa at that stage. The use of the military to lord over or for law enforcement over civilian population in South Africa has a long and dark history. Isn't it ironic that the very people who moan and complain about apartheid all the time adapt all the policies of apartheid and apply them in the 21st century? Folks, the military in South Africa, the South African National Defense Force, is not properly trained, equipped, or resourced to perform domestic law enforcement operations. This is a dumb idea, finished in Clar. So unleashing the troops onto the streets, eh? Well, this is the solution to pervasive violent crime that ANC MP Dakota Lahote has proposed. He's adamant that Ramaphosa should declare a special declaration to bring all the law enforcement agencies together. Currently, as a state, our sovereignty is undermined by the criminal element in our country to an extent that not even 29,000 people are dying in Ukraine. Not even 29,000 people are dying in the Eastern DRC. But in our case, 29,000 people die in the hands of criminals whilst we have the South African National Defense Force, the police, and intelligence. Now, the reality here, folks, is that the military is not the right organization for this, and intelligence services are not the ones responsible for deterring this crime. It's up to the police to do that. He said, let's allow the president to sign a special proclamation, allow the SANDF, the police, the Border Management Authority, the Home Affairs, the South African Revenue Services to combine efforts. Well, this is a wildly inappropriate mission for the military. Let me give you a couple examples of why. During the COVID lockdown, the early days, the South African National Defense Force soldiers beat Collins Kossa to death in broad daylight, mind you. Their conduct was atrocious. During the July 2021 ANC internal insurrection, the SANDF could not even feed its troops, sending them to KZN without any rations, forcing their soldiers to cut the queues at grocery stores which had not been burnt to the ground. He says, let's allow for a joint operation that will conduct search and seizure of all illegal ammunition, drugs, all illicit products in our streets, and ensure that those responsible are brought to book and the law takes its course because, unfortunately, as I've said before, the state needs to feed, develop, and defend its people. No, the state is not responsible for feeding its own people, and it's also not responsible for developing its own people. It is responsible for defending its own people. These communists really don't get the purpose of government. Wow, they really don't get it. And there was a mechanism for dealing with coordinated search operations in South Africa of illicit ammunition, of drugs, and illicit products. It was called the Commando Regimental System. 178 commando regiments disbanded by the ANC over the bogus claim that they were racist organizations. So you dismantled your party security measures that covered exactly what you're trying to talk about now. But my question is, what expertise in counterfeit consumer products do soldiers in the SANDF bring to the fight? Can they identify counterfeit consumer products? He says, once the state cannot meet these three obligations, it becomes a fair state. A fair state? I don't understand that. I mean, what? It fails? Then it becomes a fair state? Perhaps he meant to say an unfair state. Over 10 billion rand was taken from the special defense account to fund the free education in terms of the fees must fall. referring to the Feast Must Fall campaign that took place in Cape Town, in which students demanded that they get free education on someone else's labor back. Today we have serious equipment challenges which are not modernized. Well, duh, we've been telling you this so the white papers for 30 years. Some of our capabilities are challenged, all of your capabilities. Some of our aircraft not flying, virtually all. Some of our frigate and vessels are not at sea, almost none. It's as a result and the consequence of some of the policy decisions we made as a state. Well, you think? You're very correct in that analysis. The challenges that he's talking about arise from the corrupt arms deal 25 years ago. Eager to steal from the tenders, ANC bigwigs overrode white paper recommendations to buy hugely expensive and wholly unnecessary submarines, frigates, and aircraft, virtually none of which are operational today, rather than upgrading armored personnel carriers, buying tanks, and investing in training. According to Lohote, spending on the SANDF should be at least 2% of GDP, in line with international standards. Now, on that point, he is correct, though one wonders if he read it on a bathroom wall, given how disconnected from reality this gentleman seems to be. So the military is ill-equipped. This is a slippery slope. You don't want to get involved in it. You want to use the military as seldom as possible in domestic contents. Their job is not to police society. And when militaries police society, we typically have lots of human rights abuses. Keep that in mind. So this decision to call for the use of the military to stop crime is short-sighted. It's problematic, and likely will wind up with soldiers in jail for killing people when they shouldn't have been doing that. What say you, South Africa? What say you? Cheers.